Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Teresa Conroy-Roth, and I am so excited for my next guest. This is her second time on the show. Fanya O'Donoghue. Fanya, welcome, welcome, welcome. Super excited to have you on.
Oh, thank you for having me back, Teresa. I'm honored.
What is the number one question you get asked when you're out and about with OCM and supply chain and manufacturing and selling work?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've been out in the OCM world selling now for just over 20 years. And what I'll tell you is that in the last couple of years, the most commonly received question that we've had um, is it enough to just invest in our systems? Like we are going to put millions of dollars in here. Do we really need change management? Is change management really where we need to be focusing our money if we're going to be investing all these millions into our software system?
The change management is one of my favorite topics to talk about because I think it's so important from a people perspective.
Mhm.
What is from a difference from a as is versus a should be, a digital? Tell me more. Tell me
Sure.
what my audience needs to know.
Yeah, absolutely. Because what winds up happening is that we have these conversations where people say, I'm investing millions into this technology. People are either going to adopt it or they're going to get out.
Yeah.
Why do we need to spend that money in change management? And so, what's the importance of talking about who cares how we did it today? We need to focus on the future. Now we're going to do it tomorrow. And for us and everyone that's really focused on change management, this is where we really start to talk about the physical digital approach to transformation. And
Yeah.
there's different layers of physical digital that we can go through, but really the big focus for most initial conversations and RFPs is like, what team is going to come in and implement the best system for us, right? And how are we going to do that? And that's a focus on what we call the digital piece of it, right? And that's all of the layers, your IT, your infrastructure, your IT teams, your systems, right? How many different systems are you going to be changing? Are you going to go from Oracle to SAP to Microsoft D365? What's the best one for your organization and what you want to do in the future? Change management comes in and we say that digital piece is super important, right? But we're focused on the human side of digital transformation. And that's where we talk about the physical layer of how companies actually transform. And that means in your warehouses, you've got guys using the guns, right? We
Yeah.
are actually changing maybe physical locations, right? You may have acquired a new company and you've got new teams, you have new actual offices, you have new people, you have people that are going to be learning new processes. So we have to look at the best way to combine what your business strategy is. You've purchased this company, you want to make these things happen, or you've got a new system and you want to implement it. Helping you with that business strategy, identifying and walking you through all the different layers of the physical change and the digital change that you're going to go through so you can actually realize the value of your investment into the organization.
Awesome. Hey, tell me a little bit about racing. We talk about that off and on.
Sure.
For someone that's watching that might not have a great grasp on
Yeah.
OCM, tell me about the racing model.
Yeah, absolutely. So the racing model is where when we're engaging to support an implementation or a transformation, whether it's system focused or business focused, right? So either you're going through a big organizational change, you're going through a big technical change, right? Something is going to change the way you operate. We really focus as we're talking about the physical and digital changes, right? The systems that are going to be put in, the physical changes that are going to take place, who needs to be trained, what needs to happen. We use what we call our racing model. And what the racing model does is it identifies each of the different activities that have to
Mhm.
take place in order for us to be successful and who owns the activities at different levels. So who's going to be responsible, who is accountable, who is consulted, and then who is informed. Taking your time to set up your racing model and to really define we are going through a big digital transformation, has a lot of physical aspects of affecting your people. And we're going to need to go through training, and there's going to be these different activities of really highlighting where does our team, as your trusted consultants, where do we own it? So where are we responsible for this? Where does your team own it? Where you are accountable and that
Yeah.
you are going to be turning around and reporting out to Steerco, where you are consulted if you are part of the project team and we're asking for your input to approve materials, or where you're informed if potentially you're part of the IT team or the SI team or something that's a little bit more peripheral, right? Depending on what the activities are. There are some activities where those that own are going to be different than the other ones. And so we just always want to make sure that we are really thinking through what is the best way to organize your program so people
Yeah.
are clear on their engagement and their responsibilities.
So if you had to say the number one reason or the number two reason, if you will, why do projects fail from an OCM perspective?
Oh man, that's a loaded question.
I know.
Why do projects fail? Well, I think one of the first things I would say is that one of the main reasons we see projects fail are where we get involved in what we call recovery programs.
Yes.
Because there is an overemphasis on technology and a lack of emphasis on people.
I love people, so I completely get that.
Both of us do. Exactly.
We do.
I mean,
We are.
if there is an overemphasis on technology and focusing on the IT side, and there is a lack of emphasis on the business side of your program and ensuring that you've got business leaders bought in, that you have got the right amount of people engaged to help support adoption for your changes, that is a big miss. So we want to make sure that when we are looking at how we engage and we really stand up our program for success, that we have equal representation from both your IT interests as well as your business interests in the future, so that they both have a level of ownership on how we go ahead and implement and execute on these different items. So I would say that's one of the main reasons why we've seen ERP programs fail in the past. One of the other things that I would say is that there is the thought that change management is in place for simply communications and training, and a lack of understanding of where change management really falls inside of programs to help to facilitate success. So
tell me more. I know we don't have a lot of time today, but tell me more, because that one's fascinating.
Absolutely. A lot of the times OCM is partnered, let's say, with an HR internal change lead or someone, a project manager to help to really execute on the activities that we've outlined that are needed for your program. But
I've seen that time and time again.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes sense, right?
Again.
HR's people, they know their teams, and that makes sense. We always need to work with HR closely because you have the data, you understand your culture, you know your people. But if change management is not positioned in a level inside of PMO, part of SteerCo, helping to report out, and more importantly, gaining leader alignment, that executive leader alignment, change starts at the top. Right?
It does.
Top down, bottom up for sure. But change starts at the top. We need our leaders visible. They are the number one differentiator in successful ERP programs is visible leader engagement. And so change management being positioned in a place where we're working alongside your C-suite, we're helping to engage and get everybody on the same page about how we talk about the program. What's the most important thing? What are our vision, mission, values? How are we going to recognize success? How are we going to reward our organization for the hard work that takes place? So for change management, it's really important that we're partnered with leaders inside the organization so that we can make sure that we are truly affecting and operating and driving towards the success as defined by your organizations.
Awesome. Fanya, thank you so much.
Yeah,
so
my pleasure.
I mean, it really comes up to top down, bottoms up, and everywhere in between, right?
Exactly.
Just absolutely critical. Thank you again for joining us. If you are watching on LinkedIn, join us. Feel free to like, comment, and share. If you're on YouTube, please feel to like, comment, and share as well. Fanya, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Everyone else, have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, Teresa. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.